Construction workers and farm workers are not showing up en masse at both construction sites and on farms throughout Florida. This is occurring, I'm sure, throughout the rest of the United States, but I've seen a number of stories, a number of articles the last week or two where they have stopped because here in Florida, between ICE and Governor DeSantis, construction sites and farms are being raided and taking undocumented workers that have broken no laws, that have done no wrong, and taking them away, that are only trying to earn money to help their families survive. And that is their crime. They're trying to earn an honest living, unlike all of these people that Trump just pardoned. We won't even go there yet, but that's another whole story. Remember how Donald Trump said during the election, he was only going to go after the criminals, only the criminals. That is just a complete lie, Donald Trump, and it's a lie. Because most of the people that are being taken away are not criminal at all. The only crime they've done is try to earn a living. So for all of my Latinos that voted for Donald Trump because you believed his lie, this should wake you up. The man says one thing and clearly does another. This man also has no respect for the law and will say anything and do anything to get elected, as we've seen. Likewise, if you are having a house built, I see many people that were in the process of having houses built and they've gone to visit the construction sites and they see there are no workers there. Now they don't know what they're going to do because they've paid to build houses. They've taken out loans, etc., to build houses, and the contractors don't have employees and there's no one working on the job sites. So we've got all these partially finished homes that the good Lord only knows when and how they'll ever get finished because there are no workers. Florida already had a massive labor shortage before this, and it's only going to get worse. And we're coming into hurricane season with partially built homes. So there you have it. So love to hear from my Democrats, my MAGAs, my crazies, my cuckoos, my burned out light bulbs. If you're having a house built in Florida and you see it all of a sudden stopped, you can thank Donald Trump. If you don't like the prices you see on food in the grocery stores because more crops are not being picked and there's more shortages, not to mention the tariffs and all the other things Donald Trump has caused, you can thank Donald Trump again. Higher prices, higher costs, and shortages. Thank the one responsible, Donald Trump. What a blessing. We are truly lucky to have the orange Jesus, a felon, as president. What do you think?
So ICE promised y'all $50,000 and now they ghosted you? Welcome to the Trump University of Payday Scams. Now, you really can't make this up. ICE was out here talking about, help us deport immigrants and we'll give you a $50,000 bonus. And folks jumped up ready to play bounty hunter. It was like Dog the Bounty Hunter, MAGA edition. But now, now ICE is walking that back. That money, gone. The bonus, canceled. The promise, that was about as real as a $2 bill with Trump's face on it. And honestly, I'm sitting here like, how were y'all shocked by that? Y'all dealing with a man who has a rap sheet, a long rap sheet about not paying people. This is the same dude who stiffed contractors. He skipped out on lawyers. This dude even sold people fake degrees from a fake university. And y'all thought y'all was gonna get paid. I need to tell you something. This was never about rewarding you. See, you were just a prop for the photo ops, the press releases, the tough on immigration talking points that Kristi Noem likes to do. You were basically a resource to be used for theatrics. And now you're left with nothing but the gas receipts and the embarrassment of the fact that you got played. Well, at least you can say you learned some lesson that millions of others have learned. When it comes to the MAGA crowd, you don't work for them. You pay for the privilege of being used. Honestly, you couldn't write this as satire or a movie if you tried to. But apparently, it ain't hard taking people for a ride because so many people don't mind being passengers.
I wish that I could talk about the environmental impacts of the detainment camp that's in the Everglades. It's the cruelty. Just start with the name. Alligator Alcatraz. They're proud of it. 32 people in a cage in the middle of nowhere, far from emergency medical care. And if you're going to defend it, this is a concentration camp. You know that, right? Nobody deserves to be put in these conditions. No one. So many of you claim to be Christians. Did you miss the part of the Bible where Jesus Christ taught you to love each other? I mean, it was like half the Bible. There's no defense for this. None.
Breaking news. ICE detention centers and Homeland Security reports the number of detainees that ICE agents are actually capturing have to be released because their status is actually valid. That's right. ICE agents are not only detaining illegal immigrants, but they're just taking every immigrant they find, putting them into detention centers for deportation. However, on the back end, as I've previously reported, a lot of the people that they're detaining are actually here legally, and now the reports are starting to validate that theory, because last month alone, they detained 150 detainees, but they were only able to actually deport 1,400, and the rest had to be released. So the whole premise of detaining illegal immigrants that are criminals, getting them deported, has been debunked yet again, because ICE agents are not just stopping at criminals or illegals that are here without documentation. They're taking everybody. And the validating points coming on the back end are, now we're seeing reports that a lot of the people that are being detained are being released because they are proving to actually have the documentation that they said at the point in time of when they were arrested. However, ICE agents are not accepting the proof at the arrest because it doesn't help their quota system. Now, Homeland Security is actually showing that, like last month, they wind up releasing almost 1,800 of the detainees that they arrested because they weren't even viable or allowed to be deported out of the country. What do you guys think about this? And let's also remember that these people that are actually here legally, or citizens that are being detained for 2 to 3 weeks, their rights are being violated. Their constitutional rights are being violated, yet nobody's talking about that. How do you feel about that? Leave a comment, repost. Tell me what you think about the fact that your due process and your civil liberties are being trampled on by ICE agents because they're just trying to fit a quota created by the Department of Homeland Security and this administration. Please leave a comment, repost.
Well, we were busy building a house, but I'm coming at you today on a different note that's not quite as fun, because it affects everyone here in Florida, and eventually will start affecting the rest of the country. I know that a lot of you guys have heard stories about migrants abandoning construction sites en masse, and that can't possibly be real, because who's going to build all the new houses, all the construction sites if no one's there? This can't possibly be happening. No. Fellow TikTokers, this is very real. Right now, there should probably be about like 6 or 7 people in my house painting it to make sure that it gets painted correctly, or gets painted the right color, or just painting it in general. Across the street, there should be about 15 workers. I know because I talked to the foreman today. 15 workers right here in this house, right there, across the street from us. And 4 workers showed up, 1 being the foreman. So technically it's like 3 workers, and the guy is supposed to supervise and make sure they're doing their job. So now I think he's turned into a worker. There should be hustling and bustling right now. It should be so loud in here from all the construction going on around us, from nails hitting the roofs, or nail guns going through, driving, shingles through the roof, boards together, drywall. There should be trucks beeping back and forth, delivering materials, making sure that people have the supplies they need in order to finish these houses, because they're in a crunch to finish this house, because the market has already lost a little bit of value, and they want to sell these houses before they're not worth as much, and people start walking away from their contracts. So, unfortunately, they can't do that anymore, because I walked in today to the construction site, which is normally very, very busy, like super, super busy. Again, super loud here, right? And walked in here today, and I could literally hear the birds chirping, which is something I haven't heard here, at least in this site, since there was literally nothing here. It was just a plot of dirt, because that's when we bought here, was before there was any houses built. So all the migrants are gone. What is going on here in Florida with fascist laws being passed? All the migrants are gone. And it doesn't just hurt the migrants who have now fled, because their status in this country is now a felony, in this state. Their status in this country is now a felony in this state. So instead of hearing several nail guns going off, and several saws, and trucks and tractors going back and forth grading things, you hear the planes, unfortunately, and we also hear like maybe 1 or 2 nails or being driven in, because there's nobody here. How that's going to affect our community here in Somerdale Park, I have no idea. It's not good. It's really, really not good. If your house is already delayed, now you can expect a much bigger delay, because I don't know how they're going to bring people back. They've just fled the state. Apparently they all left to Texas. Apparently even Texas isn't as bad as Florida. And we just left Texas about a year ago because we thought it was so bad that we didn't want to be there any longer. We didn't. We left. Me and my family, we took off. We didn't want to deal with all the shootings and everything else going on over there. So you guys already know what's going on over there, right? So yeah, it's real. It's real. Migrants are gone. How construction lots are now sitting nearly empty. I think there's a few workers here just trying to finish up as much as they can. But if it was taking them forever last time, it's now going to take them even much longer when over, 3/3 of your workforce doesn't show up. You can't get things done quickly. I see a lot of the construction managers right now driving back and forth, seeing if they can see anyone. They're probably all worried as balls, trying to find out what happened to everyone, what they're going to do, and how they're probably calling the builder right now, like, hey man, everyone's gone. I don't know what we're going to do. Like, everyone's gone. And everyone over there in the office is panicking how they're going to sell the houses now. If they're going to stay in business, they can't sell the house. They can't sell a house that's not finished. I mean, you have to have a certificate of occupancy before you can sell a house. Well, that's not technically true. You have to have a certificate of occupancy before you can sell a house to someone who plans to live in it. Or at least purchase a livable house, right? So I'm sure everyone here in the state's panicking. Construction crews, anyone who owns anything having to do with construction at this point has to be panicking, because even they don't know how they're going to get new people. I saw a TikTok video saying that that everyone had abandoned everything. I thought it was a joke. Then I started taking it seriously when it was more than 1 or 15 people posting the same videos. And I can confirm right now, this whole damn lot, and we're talking the entire community, there's nobody here. I'm going to try to drive around just to show you how empty things are. This is Monday morning. This right now should be the height of where all the noise is being made, all the progress is being made on construction. And I hear maybe one saw in the background. The last time I was here in this house, it was so noisy outside that I literally had to scream into my phone for my wife to hear me talking to her. That's how bad it was. Today, not so much. So yeah, 15 workers should have shown up today. 4 showed up. So hopefully those 4 can do the job of 15 as quickly as possible. Guys, hate to leave you on a bad note. Just know that fascist laws hurt everyone, not just immigrants. They hurt everyone, everybody. We all are, right? We're better human beings than this. We really are. So I'm getting in my car. I'm going to take off, guys. Until the next one.
And he is all upset because his workforce is being deported. Now, he makes the claim, like a lot of Trumpers who actually get affected by this make, and that is, that's not what I voted for. This is not what I voted for. I voted to get out the criminals. No, this is exactly what you voted for, and now you're feeling regrets because you are personally being affected. You did not care who got wrapped up in a mass deportation. That's exactly what they told you at the RNC. Mass deportation. That's exactly what Donald Trump said over and over again, was deport these people. He lumped them all together. There was never a bucket of criminals and everyone else. It was always everyone else is a criminal. That's what it was, to brand every immigrant, legal or illegal, as a criminal. He did not care how hardworking these people were or how much they contributed to society, and neither did you, Honest Hammer. All you cared about was that these people got deported, and as long as you and your staff were safe, because you thought maybe you could wield some influence as a white man, that you would be safe, well, guess what? You're not. And you are going to suffer the consequences of that. That's an FAFO, my friend. And
I drive by here every single day on my way to work. And I usually see at least 20 people working on this building right here, doing construction. Now, I only see 2. 2 people. They're building like a little mini clinic or whatever. But there's only 2 people now.
Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. We got everything you want. We know the names. We are the people that can find whatever you may need. If you got the money, honey, we got your disease in the jungle. Welcome to the jungle. Won't we bring you through your knees? I want to watch you bleed. Welcome to the jungle.
So apparently, Florida is in desperate need of construction workers. Imagine that. Yeah. So in the construction industry, they're having a hard time contracting workers. And these extreme temperatures that nobody wants to work in, they're having a hard time finding any gringo workers. But you all were out here complaining, hollering, deport, 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 and they're taking our jobs. And imagine a situation wherein Florida needs construction workers. Hello? Wake up, America. Where's our workers at? Where's these people that are needing all of these jobs? Because apparently there's some openings and there's not a wait list. Might want to go and apply.
All construction work on the so-called alligator Alcatraz in Florida must stop. That's according to a temporary restraining order that was just issued by a federal judge in Florida against the Trump administration. Now, this order does not mean that the facility located in the Florida Everglades has to stop operating, and it does not mean that the federal government cannot house migrants there. No. What this order says is for the next 2 weeks, construction at that facility cannot continue while this case continues on. The judge said her order prevents the Trump administration and officials in Florida from doing any more filling, paving, installing additional infrastructure, and said no additional lighting fixtures can be added.
El gobernador de Florida, DeSantis, está promoviendo una ley que trabajar sin papeles sea una felonía y que todas las compañías o empleadores tienen que utilizar el E-Verify. O sea, va a ser imposible a los que no tenemos papeles trabajar. O sea, básicamente imposible. No vamos a poder trabajar. Entonces me gustaría que, compa, mande unos 300 personas aquí de ojos blanquitos, ciudadanos, pues todos ciudadanos, que vengan a colgar chirrop, a hacer el frame, colgar los ductos, hacer electricidad. Todo, y que mande también ese montón de gente allá para el camper, a la agricultura, van a cosechar a ver si es cierto que van a poder hacer el trabajo que hacemos nosotros, los inmigrantes en este país, que ellos solitos quieren ir a la quiebra, no sé qué tienen en la cabeza.
So that happened in a construction site in Miami yesterday. So I'm going to translate it for you. What the guy was saying is that the governor of Florida, DeSantis, is pushing a law to make it a felony to work without papers, and that they are holding companies and employers to assist them to check those papers. And he's saying it's going to be impossible for them to work without papers. Impossible. And what he's requesting is that, do you have 300 people, 300 white people, 300 citizen white people to do sheetrock, framing, electricity, conduits, everything? And also, are these people available to go to the camps for agriculture? He wants to see how true it is that they are able to do the work that they do. And then he says he don't know what's going on in their heads. Me neither. This is what's happening in the state of Florida. I say no lies. You guys have a blessed day.
And he is all upset because his workforce is being deported. Now, he makes the claim, like a lot of Trumpers who actually get affected by this make, and that is, that's not what I voted for. This is not what I voted for. I voted to get out the criminals. No, this is exactly what you voted for, and now you're feeling regrets because you are personally being affected. You did not care who got wrapped up in a mass deportation. That's exactly what they told you at the RNC. Mass deportation. That's exactly what Donald Trump said over and over again was deport these people. He lumped them all together. There was never a bucket of criminals and everyone else. It was always an everyone else is a criminal. That's what it was, to brand every immigrant, legal or illegal, as a criminal. He did not care how hardworking these people were or how much they contributed to society, and neither did you, Honest Hammer. All you cared about was that these people got deported, and as long as you and your staff were safe, because you thought maybe you could wield some influence as a white man, that you would be safe, well, guess what? You're not. And you are going to suffer the consequences of that. That's an FAFO, my friend. And
I drive by here every single day on my way to work, and I usually see at least 20 people working on this building right here, doing construction. Now, I only see two people. They're building like a little mini clinic or whatever. But there's only two people now.
Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. We got everything you want. We know the names. We are the people that can find whatever you may need. If you got the money, honey, we got your disease. Jungle. Welcome to the jungle. Won't we bring you through your knees? I want to watch you bleed. Welcome to the jungle.
I wish that I could talk about the environmental impacts of the detainment camp that's in the Everglades. It's the cruelty. Just start with the name. Alligator Alcatraz. They're proud of it. 32 people in a cage in the middle of nowhere, far from emergency medical care. And if you're going to defend it, this is a concentration camp. You know that, right? Nobody deserves to be put in these conditions. No one. So many of you claim to be Christians. Did you miss the part of the Bible where Jesus Christ taught you to love each other? I mean, it was like half the Bible. There's no defense for this. None.
Thank you for watching Great Minds Blacks.